This has been a brutal war, and the end seems to have been just as horrific. In the smoking ruins of the camps where the last battles raged, it's clear this conflict has been fought amongst the civilian population. The tent cities where families have been huddling were also battlefields.
It's been an unimaginable hell. There couldn't have been a worse place on the planet to be than that very small stretch of beach over the last weeks.
The government says the Tamil Tigers, known as the LTTE, were using the civilians as human shields.
Now, the biggest hostage rescue operation in the world has come to a conclusion.
But international aid groups hold grave fears for the thousands of civilians in the conflict zone and nearby camps. The United Nations Children's Agency says up to 250,000 people have been displaced.
So we're really waiting to see the final count of civilians who emerge from that area. We expect that there'll be large numbers of killed and wounded.
For more than 25 years, the Tamil Tigers have been fighting for an independent state. They were well organised, forming an army, navy and air force. At one stage, they control about a third of the country. But they pioneered the use of suicide bombers and were considered a terrorist organisation by dozens of countries. While the military defeat seems decisive, Tamil separatists will try to continue the fight.
If the government is draconian in its approach to the north, then I think the campaign will continue in a much more prolonged form.
But in Colombo, the news of the Tigers' defeat has sparked celebrations.
I was born with the war, I was living with the war, and I never wanted to die with the war.
The big challenge facing the Sri Lankan government is to turn a military victory into a sustainable peace. In the short term, that means addressing the humanitarian concerns. In the longer term, it's all about changing the politics of northern Sri Lanka. The United Nations believes the Sri Lankan government is ill-prepared for the influx of thousands of displaced civilians. But the government is promising to rebuild the shattered north of the country as soon as it can. Sally Sara, ABC News, Colombo.